My name is Daniel Reynolds. I'm here today to help you get past and push through some challenges that I faced when I first began studying Japanese. I studied for years in and out of classrooms, but when it came to the first time I was introduced to real Japanese text in a book, I was completely overwhelmed, and my confidence was just absolutely shattered. And I just don't want people to go through the same thing. So I want to help you get over that hump. Okay, that's what I'm here to do. Because I believe there's a huge disconnect between the Japanese taught in a school setting, let's say, and actual Japanese that would be in a real book. I'm here to bridge that gap, and so let's begin. All right. The first thing that we need to discuss. Okay, this is a very beginner-friendly video. If you're an expert, if you're in the medium, if you're in the middle. You could skip ahead to the next part, but I'm going to begin with a little bit of the intro just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So even if you're an absolutely no beginner, never studying Japanese, whatever, you'll be able to follow along and know what's going on. So when you first study a language, when you first begin, the number one thing when you first begin is you need to learn the alphabet, okay? So that's extremely important. The first alphabet that anybody would need to learn in Japanese is going to be what's called the Hiragana. Now here I have the Katakana, okay, but let's get down to the Hiragana. Okay, the Hiragana, which is Hiragana right there, that is the alphabet for Japanese. That's the main alphabet used for Japanese, okay? So it shows the pronunciation. So here I've highlighted columns in gray and then in white. So here you can see the A. This is the A, okay? Ka, sa, ta, na, ha, ma, ya, ra, wa, pa, ba, da, za, ga. Okay, so the point is you've got your actual English translation here, which is a, right there with the a, and then you've got the actual letter. So this is the letter, the hiragana character in Japanese that makes that corresponding sound. So, for example, this is right here. This is an E. This is an E. This is an U, A, O, which is just the N sound. Okay. So, like I said up here, just so we can give an example, this first letter is Hi, Ra, Ga, Na, and they're all found out through here, like I had shown you earlier. The ga being found, for example, right here. The he, for example, being found here. Okay, and you can find the rest of the letters. But the point is that you must know the hiragana to begin with. Now, once you learn the basic hiragana, sure, right here. Okay, that's the main basics. Then it's a little bit easier because most of these are just kind of facsimiles of each other. If they have a little circle, okay, the small little circle right there, that's going to correspond to a P sound, P, okay? And if they have a double dash mark right next to the character, that's going to be a B sound. Usually, doesn't have to be, but for example, this would be Z, okay? Not boo, okay? Not boo, but Z, okay? This is a special character called Z, okay? There's no corresponding sound to that in English, but mainly these are pretty much able to be said by anyone who can speak English, most of these. In addition, there are combinations over here. This is the next step to learn. I didn't actually memorize these when I first began because there's no real reason to. They're just combinations of sounds, as in this is me, and this is ya, okay? The ya is small, and the me is big, so when you put them together, it's mya, okay? Mya. All right, so obviously you can understand that there's no reason to memorize. Mya means this will, you'll be able to do that. And this one, another example is new. Okay, so this is the ni sound, u. So it's the big N, the big ni, the big small u, new. Okay, and this is the chu sound, chi and u. Okay, chu, and this is the ki and yo, kyo. All right, for example, kyoto. That would be beginning would be kyo right there. All right, so that's the first alphabet. This alphabet is used for sounding, for phonetic reasons, and also for things in sentence structure, sentence grammar, conjugations of verbs, all kind of things. Very useful. I mean, obviously not. This is the thing to learn. This is it. This is what you need to be able to master Japanese. You have to begin here at the hiragana. Okay. So moving on now, we're going to look at katakana. Katakana are the exact same thing as hiragana. The exact same thing in every respect. The only difference is the symbols are different. So, for example, that ah we had seen before, the ah, it looks different, right? That's different. That's a completely different symbol. And the ka, that is a different symbol as well. See? Completely different symbol. And the reason that, and like I said, the same rules, same sounds, everything as before, and the same combinations and everything. You'll notice there's no difference between this side and the previous one. The main reason for that is there's a reason they make this distinction. It's because the majority of all the katakana is used for foreign words. For example, my name is Daniel, okay? So if I was going to type that out in, let's say, katakana, full with katakana right there. And let's type now. Da, ni, eru. See? Da, ni, eru. Right there. Da, ni, eru. Okay. So my name is obviously not natively Japanese, okay? So any word that's not natively Japanese, a great word, for example, would be cake, okay? Cake is not a Japanese word. I know that's sad. But cake is not a native Japanese word. So when they write cake in Japanese, they write keiki, okay? Keiki. Okay, keiki. All right. And that helps to keep the languages separated, okay? Not only is our words in English, there are Chinese words, there are Korean words, all kind of words that are in katakana that are used as outside markers to let people know that, hey, that's not a normal word, that's not a native Japanese word, okay? That's just the way the language is structured. But like I said, the same exact sounds exist in the katakana as in the hiragana. It's just the order, the symbols are different, okay? Okay, now we've got all that down. So let me go on to our next topic. Okay, our next topic is going to be on kanji, okay, kanji. So now that you've gotten the two alphabets memorized, you're thinking, hey, I know everything, I'm ready to go. Not so fast. Japanese is tricky, okay? There are these little squiggly characters looking things, okay? There are hundreds of thousands of them, but there are about 2,000 roughly that make up the Joyo kanji, or the regularly used kanji, okay? So now this character right here, this little symbol right here on the left, this big symbol, stands for has the meaning of China, okay? China, okay? And this character over here has the meaning of letter, okay? So it's Chinese letters. That's what that means right there, okay? And this sound of this character right here is kan, and this letter over here is ji, okay? So you put them together, kanji. And the word kanji in Japanese means Chinese characters, or basically any character that they use that's not in the hiragana katakana. Okay. So a big distinction for all the Japanese characters is that they're going to be different in size and shape, and they're going to have different lines, different orders, different everything. They're not going to, none of them, well, most of them look completely distinct, okay? And each one of them has its own definite meaning, okay? Its own meaning. All right, and also, as well as the meanings, they have two pronunciations, mainly two pronunciations, okay? And that's called the onyomi, okay? And then the kunyomi, okay? Kunyomi. All right, now, the onyomi means the Chinese reading, okay? The Chinese reading, and the kunyomi meaning the Japanese reading, okay? So, for example, we have the word here, ongaku, okay? The first character here, which is sound, and the second character is fun, okay? Fun. So you have sound, fun. And the pronunciation of the Chinese form of this character right here is on, and this word is usually gakuki. Well, it's being together with the other one. It can be gaku, it can be kaku, but gaku, okay? So on gaku, okay? So that's how you pronounce that. And opposingly, if you have the same exact character here, which is this sound, when you have it by itself, you have the sound oto, or sound, okay? So the Japanese, or kunyomi, is for when the characters are alone or when they're with hiragana or katakana. Well, they're mainly with hiragana. When they're alone, when they're just by themselves with nothing around them. And then with no other characters around them, which would be kanji characters. And then the onyomi is for when they're combined, okay? When they're next to another character. They're usually in pairs of 2, sometimes they can be pairs of 3. And usually if you have 10 different characters in a row that are all just smashed together, you're reading Japanese and it's not Chinese, what's going on is usually it's two characters represent a word, and then it's just a word chain, okay? That would be the way that most official government head or titles would be, or government positions, government name of different places and stuff like that, all kind of things like that. That would be these huge long characters names. But like I said, they mainly mean one word, okay? So another example of what I have been talking about earlier with the kunyomi and onyomi is this is wadai, okay? Which means topic or subject, okay? On the left here, you'll see this character right here, okay, which means speaking. And the onyomi, when you combine it with another kanji next to it, has the sound of wa, okay, wa, which is right there in front up top. And this character means topic, okay, right here on the right, means topic. And that onyomi is dai. So you have wa dai, okay, wa dai. All right. So, another example of kunyomi would be when this character, which is wa over here for speaking, is over here by itself with just a s sound. It's hanasu, and you have hana being the kunyomi sound. So, hana would be the kunyomi sound here, and wa would be the onyomi sound here. Okay. You're probably wondering why there's so many confusing little characters all around the place. There's these little tiny characters at the top. See these tiny little fu, and this little ga and na. Okay, you're probably wondering, what is that? Why is that there? Okay, so the little characters at the top are, like we said before, are the hiragana characters, but they're called furigana. Okay, furigana. Now, what are they doing? They're there to show the pronunciation. Okay, so I'm not expecting everyone who's watching this video to have memorized all the kanji characters, okay? Or their pronunciation, because there can be tons of different pronunciations, onyomi, pronunciations for each character, and depends on what they're paired with. So I'm not expecting that at all. I'm not saying I mastered every single one myself. But my point here is that if you look right here, this is an easy guide to understand what's going on. So like I said, hiragana. So I mean, let's assume you didn't know what that meant. Let's assume you knew what the word hiragana meant, okay? But you didn't know how to pronounce those kanji, okay, at all. You didn't know what they meant. But you could say, hiragana. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I understand now what that word is. There we go. So it's an aid mainly used in school when Japanese children are younger, before they get to the age where they don't need that anymore because they're so far advanced. And actually, there can be some hiragana in newspapers and other things like that when the names or when the words are just so rarely used, or the kanji are so rarely used, that they actually need a guide. So it's a great tool to have. It's a tool I choose to use in these lectures, so that we'll be able to understand what's going on. Okay, now, there's one more topic I want to discuss real quick, and okay, here we are. All right, when you have Japanese verbs, or doshi, okay, doshi right here, okay, doshi, verbs, okay? The issue is a lot of verbs are ru verbs or u verbs, okay? I know that this sounds ridiculous, but I'll explain what it is. All right, so let's take a look here at this word, okay? This means to eat, okay? And the onyomi will be shaku, okay? But the kunyomi is tabe right here. Ta. So this word is taberu, okay? That is a verb, okay? A verb. All right. So when you conjugate a verb, for example, in English, when you have a verb like is, okay, for example, you say I am, he is, we are, okay? We're conjugating the verb. We're changing it based on the subject. In Japanese, you do not change the verb based on the subject. You completely do not do that. Instead, you change the verb to infer meaning, to spice up the sentence, okay? The verb is never based on the subject. It's based on it can be based a little bit on some indirect objects and some things like that. That can be important, but mainly it's not at all like English. the verb is used to infer all kind of interesting and nuanced meaning. Okay, so this is the verb taberu. Okay, this is a ru verb. Okay, so ru verbs means that when you conjugate them, let's say to the most normal conjugation, to the polite mas form, which when everybody would know, gohan no tabimasu, the first word sentence you would learn, which means gohan is rice. O means the direct object marker, and tabimasu would be to eat. Okay, so in a polite way. So again, tabe mas right there would be how you would conjugate the verb to that mas form, to that very polite form, to the present polite form. Okay, so when you do that, you slice off that ru. Okay, you slice it off completely, and then you just go put the mas. Okay, all right. However, when you have a word like shaberu, okay, this is the kunyomi of shabe, and this is ru. All right, this is a different little situation here. When you conjugate this verb, you don't slash off that ru instantly. Okay, you actually keep the r. Okay, you keep the r and you add an e, so you basically make a ri, and then you add the mas. Okay, so you would shaberimas, which would mean to talk. Polite way to say somebody's talking. All right, so in Japanese, there's always going to be a guide. If you look up in the dictionary, it's always going to say it's u verb or ru verb. Now, you can have other verbs like a su verb, like I said, hanasu or something like that earlier. But the point is, it's very important to understand that the ru verb, you slice off the r when you're conjugating it into like a polite mas form. And when you have a u verb, which is like shaberu, you slice off the e on the end, or you slice off the u on the end, which would be taberu, shaberu, and you just have the r, and then you add the a, so shaberi, so r, a, ri, mas, okay, shaberi mas, okay. Now we're actually able to finally jump in to Japanese text. The whole point of this lecture wasn't to give you an endless amount of information so that you would never be able to learn Japanese, or that you would get just overwhelmed and bored or whatever else. I want right now today to be able to help you to start actually learning, reading, picking up books, diving in, being able to do it. I mean, that's my goal. Like I said, in a classroom setting, their goal is not for you to be able to pick up Japanese books and just be able to start reading. And it's not because they're trying to do anything wrong. What they do is great. It's just they're trying to teach you. They don't want you going in half-cocked, because they're concerned that you won't learn some basic fundamentals and you'll sound ridiculous when you can't even get subject-verb agreement again. That's not really the point. What I'm saying, you can't even conjugate verbs correctly. You don't really know what's going on. They want you to kind of have that fundamental developing. But there are many times where maybe you're not studying anymore, or maybe you need to use this. You need to be able to read things, or maybe you just need. Maybe you're trying to begin to read. Okay, and you don't have anybody maybe to help you with that, and you just don't know how to. You can't break into it, and you just want to give up. Or people give up. Okay, there are many people who've given up because it's just too hard to break into. Well, I'm here to help you break into real Japanese text right now, and actually understand what's going on. And I hope that my hope is I'll make enough of these videos that by the end of this you'll be able to pick up a book and just start reading it. That is my hope. And so with enough of that, let's get to the text. I wanted to make a small side note about what's going on here. In general, Japanese text is written from top down, okay? From right to left, top down. So you would read it like this. Shihen, daberu no sanka, shiwa watashi no ichikai, all that. You would read it from just like boom, 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 boom. You read it all the way down, right all the way down, and then you go on and on, from right to left, okay? And I really want to teach you in this manner, but I believe, being a native English speaker, that is just not very helpful. It's just such a mirror trick. It's fun and it looks cool, but it's not very substantive for helping somebody learn Japanese, because it's just such a minor little change. Okay, so that's not very helpful for our mind. I think that's very confusing at the very beginning. And maybe down the road, if people are comfortable with it, I can switch to that form. But right now, we're going to do it as a normal English way, left to right, top down. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up. All right, now we have the same exact information, the same exact words as before. This time, we have it in the English format. Okay, we're left to right. And again, I think this is much better for learning. Now, you might be looking at this and going, wow, that's a lot of characters. Wow, that's a lot of everything. Wow, there's a lot of colors. What the heck is going on? Okay, well, first off, let me tell you what this is. Okay, this is the 23rd Psalm in the Bible. Okay, written by David. All right, and so we're going to learn how to read this today. This is actually from the real Bible, actually the real Japanese Bible. And there's no deceit, deception, there's no trickery, and there's nothing in here that's been changed. This is actual from the real Bible. So this is real text, real Japanese text we're going to break into, sink your teeth into right now, okay? So, without any further ado, let me get to the colors. So all the blue here, the blue here, the blue here, the blue here, all the blue is for a reason. That's the particles. And I did that because I wanted to help you understand your brain, help you understand. If you see it all in black, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. But the colors can help you understand where the particles are, kind of help break up the sentence a little bit, okay? There's a lot of particles in Japanese, and knowing where all those particles is and how they work, it helps you break it up in your mind. It's really great, okay? So the next thing would be the red. Okay, the red. The red is for verbs. Okay, and the verbs are very important here because verbs have a lot of functions in Japanese. Okay, so without any further ado, again, let's begin. All right, so I've written everything in Hiragana here so everybody would be able to understand. So again, this is Shihen or Psalms. Okay, and this is David no Sanka. Okay, right. Davide, which is David, okay, in Katakana, which is really important because, again, this is an outside word. It's not normally a Japanese word. There are no Japanese people, well, there could be Japanese people named David, but that definitely would not be written in Hiragana, okay? It would be written in Katakana because that's showing it's an outside word. Davide or David, if you say it quickly enough, when Japanese people are speaking quickly, usually it sounds differently. They'll cut parts off and everything. I mean, it's great. But again, David, no. Okay, now this is blue. The reason it's blue, again, is because it's a particle. And this shows ownership. So basically, this is akin to David no, which is David apostrophe S. Pretend that's apostrophe S. And Sanka is the word for song of praise. Okay, so now we have David apostrophe S right here, song of praise. All right, now you've gotten your first little bit there read already. You read the first little part. Now we're going to jump into the sentences and let's go. All right, so the first word here is shu, okay, and this is for the Lord, okay, the capital L, not a Lord, but the Lord, okay, Lord. And this is, again, this is the sound for, this is ha, right? Ha. This is the Hiragana sound for ha. Okay. But here, when you use it as a particle, it's pronounced wa. Now, this is the only exception. This is one of the very, very few exceptions that people wouldn't know about. But this is very important distinction that you understand that this character is pronounced right here. This character is pronounced wa, not ha, when it is used as a particle. And this wa right here signifies that this is the subject. Okay, this is the subject marker. Okay, so shu wa, watashi means I. Okay, I, me. Shu wa watashi no. Again, this is apostrophe S, hitsujikai. Okay, so hitsujikai is a word for shepherd. Okay, so shu, which is the Lord, and this is wa, which is the subject marker. So the Lord, and this is my apostrophe S, my shepherd. So now there's no verb here. Okay, you might think so. The Lord, subject, my shepherd. Okay, there's no verb here. Now, in Japanese, there's a lot of understood verbs. Okay, that's something we're going to have to go through. I know that's kind of stinks, but there's an understood des, which is. There's an understood des here, which would mean that this is. So there's an understood of right here, des. It's an understood des. Okay, so Lord, my shepherd is. So the Lord's my shepherd. Hey, there we go. First sentence down. All right, next sentence. Watashi wa. Okay, I, subject marker, I. Toboshi, which is adjective, an I adjective. Toboshi, which meaning lacking. Koto. Koto can mean anything, but it means thing. Thing usually means thing, okay? Ga arimasen. Okay, so ga is a particle. It's showing it's not showing the subject, but it's showing an indirect object or direct object. It basically shows something that's important in the sentence that's not the actual subject. So again, this would be toboshi koto, which would be lacking thing. Okay, and this tells where it is in the sentence that this is not the subject, but this is important. This is the indirect object. Ga arimasen. So there isn't. So arimasen, okay, is you wouldn't be able to. You might be able to Google that. What arimasen is for aru. Okay, aru is the verb for is. Okay, for inanimate objects, and it's a u verb, like I told you before. So when you conjugate it, you conjugate it for arimasu. Okay, arimasu. That would be the conjugation in the present form or in the formal form. And arimasen, right there, is the negative form. So we're just conjugating to the negative. So instead of going that tsu, at the end you would go sen. So this is the negative polite form. Okay, so this says isn't. Okay, or doesn't exist. So what this is saying is I, subject marker I, lacking thing, ga, lacking thing, and then it says nai, or is arimasen, or isn't there, doesn't exist. So as far as I'm concerned, that's how you would say it in Japanese. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that's lacking. There's a lacking thing, there is not. So there's nothing that's lacking. So I lack nothing. So I lack nothing is that's what that's saying. That's a fun way to say that. Okay. Next is shiwa. Again, we already did this already, which means the Lord, subject marker. Watashi o. This is the direct object marker. This is the same thing as with the ha over here, which is pronounced wa. When this is direct object marker, and when you have this right here, you pronounce it instead of wo, you pronounce it o when it's by itself being used in this capacity. So shu wa, the Lord. Watashi o means I, and it's direct object. Midori, which is green. Apostrophe shows relation to this one, ownership. So midori no makiba. Okay, makiba meaning pasture land. Ni means at. Okay, this is another particle. So again, you have green, no pasture. That's just a green pasture land at. So you're at a green pasture land. Husase. Okay. So this is red, so this is verb. What is fusase? All right. Husu means to bow down. Husaseru. Okay. When you take away the su on the end and you add sa, which is right here, saseru, husaseru. So it's a saseru. You're conjugating the verb to meaning somebody was forced or was allowed to do something. Okay, forced or allowed. So right here, you basically got, they ended the verb here because when you're in the middle of a sentence, okay, when you're not finished, you use the te form, which means that you end the verb instead of the ru, you end with the te. So instead of this ru, you would end with, right there, you would end with the te instead of the ru right here. So this is husase te. Okay, but in this form, they had the te. Can you believe that? They had the te because it's just unnecessary. They know what's going on. Not that we did, but now we know. So this is just saying, forced me to lie down. That's what this is saying. Fusase te, or fusase. This forced me to lie down in green pastures. God forced me. Okay, forced me to lie down in green pastures, or allow me to lie down in green pastures, but probably in this meaning, I mean forced. All right, let's go on to the next part. Ikoi. Okay, ikoi means peaceful. Okay, no, only get ownership. Mizu, which is water. Again, no ownership. Otori, on the edge of, the bank of. So peaceful water, edge of, at the edge of the peaceful water. Ni, at. Tomowaremasu. Okay. Tomowaremasu. That means to accompany. All right. So if God was saying, if somebody was saying they were accompanying you, they would say tomonau. Okay. All right. Or if they're using the polite form, which we've gotten very accustomed to right now, it'd be tomonaimasu. Okay. Tomonaimasu. Tonaimasu. Okay. But here, this is not what's going on. Okay. The verb form is tomowaremasu. Okay. So when you have an u verb and you conjugate it for wa, re, do. Okay. If you conjugate it, oh, I don't want that. Thank you. If you conjugate it into and taking this u and adding a w, a, re, ru, it turns it into the passive form. So this is a conjugation, guys. It's a conjugation. It's not a big deal. It's just a conjugation of a verb. So you have tomonau, and then tomonawaremasu, or tomonawareru. Okay, right here. Tomonawareru. All right. So again, this is the passive form. Passive when meaning the difference between throw and be thrown. Or, for example, the ball was thrown. That would be the passive. Instead of adding the was, they add the wareru. Okay? So what this is trying to say here is, this is the passive voice. But you might think that, okay, they're just using the passive because I was accompanied. No, actually, the passive voice here is used to show respect for God. Okay? When you use passive voice, you are showing, oftentimes, not all the time, especially in the Bible, you're showing honor to the subject or God. Okay, so instead of, normally it would be tomonau, okay, to God. So he guided me, okay, across him. So you can perfectly, if it was not God or Shu, if it was just Robbie or anybody else or Michiko or whoever else, and you had tomona, you could have tomonau or tomonaimasu right there, and that'd be perfectly good sentence, perfectly good, and that makes a lot of sense. But you can't do that here, or you shouldn't do that here because the subject is the Lord, so you have to show respect and show tomonawaremasu. Okay, so that's just, like I said, passive voice showing respect. Okay, let's move on. Now, shu, which means, okay, again, God, the Lord. Watashi no tamashi, okay? Watashi, again, this is the same thing as before, it's that apostrophe. Watashi, my soul, okay? O, direct object marker. Iki kaerase. Okay, now we have the same thing as before. All right. So we had the verb ikidu, which is to live. Okay? And then we have kaeru, which is to, oh, this is the wrong version of kaeru. Let's try to find the right one. It's way down here. Okay. So ikidu, and kaeru. To live and to return. Okay? But here what they're going to do is they're going to combine the verbs to give additional meanings so they'll both be used at the same time. Okay, so right here you would have iki kaerase. Okay, so let me get into that. So the first thing we do is they're going to, when you combine verbs in Japanese, you combine the mas stem, which is, for example, what we talked about earlier with the taberu. I'll show you that, taberu. They would cut off the ru, and that's the mas stem, okay, the mas stem. Or again, we talked about earlier, shaberu, okay. They would, instead of the cutting off the ru, they cut off the u at the end of, and they add an I, so shaberi. Okay, this would be the mas stem. All right, so for ikidu, it's a ru verb. So for the mas stem, it's the this is the mas stem. Okay, mas stem, and this is iki. Okay, and then kaedu right here, or return. Okay. Is also conjugated, okay? And this is a u verb, okay? So when you conjugate this verb, you're going to go kaeraseru. Yay, you're there, kaeraseru. Okay. So da seru, again, you're taking off the u, you're adding an a, seru. Okay? This is the same thing as what we did before. Husase. It's the same exact thing, same exact verb conjugation, it's just being done to the kaedu. So what we have together is a combination of verb stem, iki, kaedu, and then it's conjugated to me, da seru. Okay. So what this means would be forced to return to life. Okay. So basically, the Lord to my soul, okay, for my soul, forced it return to life. He restored life to my soul. That's the meaning is God's. It's that easy. It's that easy. It's that easy. All right. Next, Mina, which is God's name. God's name. Now, tameni, okay, this is the no, means ownership. Tameni, okay, means for, okay, or for the sake of God's name here. Watashi, I, o, this is direct object. Gi no michi, okay, gi means righteousness, michi means road. Okay, righteous road, michi bikaremas. Okay, we have another verb here, okay, this means to lead, okay, to lead. That's what michibiku means. So this basic form of this verb is michibiku, but we're conjugating here to be michibikareru, okay, which is the passive voice, or michibikaremas, okay, which is that mas form of this is the very polite form of michibikareru, which is the passive form of michibiku. All right. Again, we're using this as respect for God. Okay. So michibikaremas. So to lead. So for God's name's sake, I to righteous roads or paths am led. Okay. So I'm led to righteous roads for His name's sake. Okay. Next part. Tatoi means even if. Shi means death, Kagi means shadow, Tani means valley. So even in death's shadow valley, or shadow of the valley of death, this is the direct object marker. Aruku, which is actually not conjugated, which means to walk. Koto means thing. Ga, remember, it shows that indirect object, or it shows an important word marker in the sentence. Atemo. Okay, so let's figure out what this means. So, atemo, we already talked about aru, right? Aru? All right, to exist. All right, ate is the te form again. The te form is incomplete. Again, this is not the end of the sentence right here. This is not the end. That's a comma, not a period. So we're going to use the te form there. And the mo means even if. Okay, so even if. So so this would mean, without the te, it would mean exists, but even if it exists. So, even if this is a double, this is just kind of explaining it really strongly. Even if, in the valley of shadow of death, they're walking, there's walking. Okay, even if there's walking in the valley of shadow of death, even if there's walking in the valley of shadow of death, that's what it's trying to say. Even if there's walking in the valley of shadow of death. Next part is watashi wa, I. Wazawai, which is danger. O, direct object marker. Osoremasen. Osoremasen is osoreru, which is to be fearful. And this is the conjugated to osoremas, which is the positive mas form, or osoremasen, which is the negative form of the mas forms. The negative mas form. So, I will not fear dangers. Okay, even if I'm walking the shadow of the valley of death, I will not fear dangers. Anata means you. Ga, marker. Me, I. Watashi, to. Tomoni. To means with. Okay, tomoni, again, this kind of reinforces it. Tomoni, together. You and me together. Because, and this is orareru. This is just a fancy way of saying oru, which is to exist, which is a verb. And when you conjugate that passive verb, the passive form is orareru. Okay, and the orareru right here is again conjugated to be the proper polite form of oraremasu. Okay, so we have oru, which is to be, orareru, which is a passive form. So it's the proper, nice way to say passive of to exist. Okay, but we're using the oraremasu, we're using the passive form again to show honor show honor to the anata, which is going to be the Lord. So the Lord, along with me, exists because the Lord is with me. Okay, that's what that means. Anata, the Lord's, his muchi, which is his staff. Okay, his staff. To means and. Anata, his. No, zi, okay, which is going to be his cane. His cane. So, the Lord's staff and the Lord's cane. Sore, which means they. Which means this is the way of rewording these subjects. It's they, sore ga. This is marks the sore. Sore ga watashi, I, no nagusame desu. Nagusame means comfort. Okay? So, your cane, your staff, and your cane, they, my comfort is, is. Got it. Watashi no teki, which would be your enemy. No mae, before me. Okay? De. Okay. The de is the te form of des. There we go. So what this is trying to just kind of hold the sentence at bay. Hold it in the middle of the air with a comma there. So my enemy before me. So if my enemy's before me, pause. Anata means the Lord. Wa. Watashi no tameni. Again, that's for the sake of me. No, for the tameni means for the sake of this part of this one right here. This of me. So the Lord, for my sake, shokuji, food. Direct object for the verb totonoe. Totonoe. Totoeru means to prepare. Totonoe te, okay? It's the te form of totonoeru. Totonoe te, which is again the te form. They chop the t off. They chop the te off. Because again, they know what's going on. Not that we do. So they chop it off. And so it's the te form, they chop it off. So it's totonoe. Alright? So in the presence of my enemies, the Lord, for behalf of me, will prepare food. There we go. And that's the sentence right there. How about that? You can read it. You can do it. Watashi, which means I, me. No. Atama, which means my head. Tama's head. Ni, to my head. Abara, which is oil. O, direct object marker. Sosoede kudasaimasu. Okay, let's get into what that means. So this is two verbs. Sosogu, which means to pour, or anoint, or on the head. So the sosoe to pour out, and kudasaru. Okay, so sosogu again means to pour out, and then kudasaru means to do something for someone. It really means to do something for me. Okay, to do something for me. It's a really polite form of kudasaru, because might have heard kudasai, but it's not as polite as kudasaru. It's much more polite when you're writing. Okay, so how do these verbs connect? Okay, so sosogu right here is conjugated to be sosoide. Sosoide is the te form, the holding version of sosogu. They use this te form to create verb chains to amplify meaning. And then kudasaru, okay, is conjugated to kudasaimasu. Okay, so this is just a weird way to. This is a special case where it doesn't follow the normal rules. It's very rare and special. But this is the mas present form of kudasaru. So sosogu means to pour out. Sosoide is the te form, so it means pour it out for me. So what this means right here, right where we're getting to it, is oil is poured out for me. For me. He's done me a favor of pouring oil out on me on my head. Alright, next part. I, and this is the cup. Wa, subject marker. Ahureteimasu. Okay, let's get to the next verb. Ahureru. means to overflow. Ahu re mas. Oh, all right. Let's get to actually the te. Ahurete is the te form, and this iru, okay, is the next verb means to exist. But when you connect the te form and iru, which is this right here, so it's this little iru thing. When you have ahurete iru, when you have the te form iru, it's a specific verb conjugation. It's showing right now, right this second, something's happening. It means my cup is overflowing right now, this second, not any other time. Right now, my cup's overflowing. Right now. Okay. So ahurete imasu again. And then the excuse me, I didn't make this very clear. The iru is conjugated to be imasu. Okay. The mas form of iru is mas. So ahurete imasu means overflowing right now. Right now. Okay. So let's go on. Makoto ni, which means truly. Makoto means truth. Ni, truly, to the truth. Truly. Watashi mai, no, which is the marker for ownership. Inochi, which means life. No hi, days. No kagiri, limit. So it's my life, days, limit, or for as long as I live, for the end of my days, to the longest my days exist. Itsukishimi, which means affection. Itsukishimi. To means and. Megumi. Megumi means blessings. To. Ga. Again, that's the marker. Showing not again the actual subject necessarily, but the secondary subject. Okay, indirect object, the secondary subject. So Itsukishimi, meaning affection. To megumi, which would mean blessings. To, they're kind of emphasizing and they're kind of double emphasizing. They really want you to know that both of these are going to happen. They're forcing it. I mean, they're forcing you to understand this is really going to happen while using both toes instead of just using one. Ga, okay, this is the subject marker. Okay, here the not the primary subject, the secondary subject marker. Itsukishimi to megumi, affection and blessings, and watashi, me, o, and then ote kuru desho. Okay, so ou means to chase. Ku, oh well, kuru means to come, and desho means don't you think? Probably. Okay, so ou to chase and to come. So kuru is showing the direction, showing the direction of how the verb saying the chasing is coming toward me. Chasing is coming. Kuru, coming to me. So ou means to chase. Now this is the te form of ou te. Ote, chasing form. Kuru, coming after, showing the direction of it. Coming to me, coming. Ote kuru desho. Okay, so watashi o. So something, I'm not going to go into this right here. Something is chasing, coming to me, what don't you think? So this is what's talking about. Blessings, affection and blessings will chase and come after me, don't you think? So for all of my days of my life, affection and blessings are going to come after me. What don't you think? Surely they will. Okay? And the last part is, right here, is watashi wa I, itsumademo. This is the already understood idea. It's a lot of things combined, but basically it just means for forever. Itsumademo, until the end, until forever. Itsumademo, always. Shu, Lord's, his house, no, shows possession, ie, house, ni, at, sumaimashou. All right. Sumau. Okay, sumau is the verb for live. Sumaimasu is the conjugation of the mas conjugation of sumau. Okay. Sumaimashou. If you take off the su, the su, and add sho as part of the conjugation, usually it means it's a group. Let's do something. But when you're talking about just yourself, it means I plan to do something. Okay, I, which is here, watashi, I, forever, the Lord's house, will live. That's my intention, to live in the Lord's house forever. All right. So I hope I've made clear that you've just read Psalm 23 in the Bible, and the real Japanese Bible, not a dumbed-down version at all. This is Japanese prepared for Japanese, not prepared for English learners. And this is how you did it. You're able to break down and construct it from to the bare bones to understand exactly what's going on and understand what's read. I think that's enough for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to leave them below the video. Also, if you guys want to see more, let me know. I am actually going to be translating, or helping people to read more passages, more Japanese passages. This is the first one, so I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, let's do this again. Thank you.